Hello everybody, San here, engineer MBA on investor, and in today's video I want to take a look at Pfizer buying this Seagen company for 43 billions, why it matters in the CRISPR landscape, what are my thoughts, and why I think that CRISPR companies should not sell themselves short this year or even next year. We'll be talking about all of that here in this video. Hopefully you guys are having a beautiful end of weekend here. It's a mild weather here in Toronto. I really think this is gonna be the last day slash weekend slash week that we're gonna have bad weather going forward. I think spring is gonna hit us with beautiful weather. Really excited. Winter has gotten me a little bit grumpy here, to say the least. So hopefully wherever you are, you're having good weather, at least bearable weather. Just a note, I actually recorded this video or tried to record this video like 10 minutes ago and I forgot to hit the recording button, so I'm just literally repeating myself in this video, but forget about that. For you want to focus on this article. So Pfizer buying Seagen for 43 billion in hopes of curing disease in decades. Now, a couple of things. First of all, Seagen is obviously a big pharma company. They were worth about 35 billion dollars by the time they announced this news. So basically a premium about 15 to 20%, which is probably respectable depending on the vertical. It's quite relative with the size of the company. But then nonetheless here, Pfizer being a big pharma company, making 100 billions of revenues since the pandemic annually, thanks to their vaccine. And of course, that sort of accelerated their growth with other programs. Obviously, Pfizer is not just about the vaccine. We all know this. If you guys know anything about healthcare, you know they're involved in many drugs and so on. For the good or for the bad, depending on how you see it. But nonetheless, they make a lot of revenue, a lot of money, and they have money in the balance sheet. And with inflation looming in, why not make a play? Makes sense, right? I mean, one may argue that money sitting in your balance sheet is probably worse than spending it in a company that doesn't really yield the goal of curing a disease in decades, right? Because you're just letting your money sort of die, if you want to put it that way. Obviously, it's not as simple as that, but nonetheless here, it's a great acquisition for Pfizer, as they say it. I mean, obviously, they're hoping that this company, Seagen, will give them future sales when it comes to curing diseases in future. My thoughts here is as follows, right? First, I think there's a lot of money being thrown around. I don't think people realize this, but 43 billion is not anything to sneeze at. I mean, Seagen is not even, I mean, yes, they're a known biotech company, but it's not like they're a household name. I mean, this is just one of those biotech companies. This is crazy. Like, for almost half of 100 billion, this company is being bought out in hopes to cure a disease in the future or diseases in the future. And we're talking future, not 3, 4, 5 years. We're talking decades, which could be anywhere from 10 years to 30, 40 years, right? Now, obviously, these purchases, these acquisitions are often made for two reasons. First is for PR slash marketing. Now, when Pfizer announces this news, yes, they buy it for 43 billion. It's obviously through stock options, whatnot. But also they sort of gamble on the fact that maybe, the stock price will go up by 5-10%, although it only went up by 3%, I believe, after that acquisition. They're hoping that they can get maybe 5 to 10% of growth there, so they can sort of lower that 43 billion when you think about it, right? You're paying 43 billion, but that news alone sort of got you back like 20 to 30 billions in the market cap. So, just basic math, right? Lots of companies do that. It's sort of a gamble in the stock market. It's the benefits of being a public company, of course. And then the second reason, of course, and the most important one, is talent acquisition slash market share, right? So obviously they're getting more talent, they're getting more dominant in the market share. It makes sense for these companies to buy it. Now, that's what it is for Pfizer. That's what it is for their sort of bubble. Let's sort of transition towards what my thoughts are in the CRISPR landscape. And there is a parallel to make. If this is this much money being thrown at, I really would be extremely disappointed if any of these following companies sell themselves this year or next year. CRISPR Therapeutics, Caribou, Beam Therapeutics, Verve Therapeutics, Prime Medicine, Mammoth Biosciences, of course, being a private company so far, and of course NTLA. If any of these companies sell themselves short, I would be extremely disappointed. I think if this is what this company is worth, 43 billion, in hope of curing cancer in the future, and we're talking this future being 10 plus years, and we believe CRISPR companies could make a impact as soon as the end of this year with Hexacell from CRISPR Therapeutics. Potentially in the next 35 years, we'll be seeing a lot more FDA-approved CRISPR therapies. Of course, this is just educated guess there. We don't have inside information. Then I think 43 billion is a ripoff. I think these companies could be worth 100 billions, 200 billions. I think a lot of us, and I speak for a lot of us, I would say, have invested in these companies because we believe these companies could be worth more than just 20, 30, 40 billion individually. We believe that a lot of these companies could become their own big pharma type of companies where they can sort of license their technology, build partnerships, have more programs, more clinical trials, and of course ultimately treat more patients in different diseases and of course cancers. So the point I'm making here is I really would be extremely disappointed if any of these companies sell themselves and these CRISPR companies, because there's lots of money being thrown around. You can bet that there's M&A discussion every single day across those companies. You can bet that lots of these big pharma companies, whether that's Pfizer, Moderna, Vertex, of course, being a big, I would call them a CRISPR company at this point, a big pharma CRISPR company, like maybe an asterisk there. But the point I'm making is lots of these CRISPR companies beginning approach. And of course, if you're Editas or Graphite Bio, if you're one of those companies, maybe you look to sell yourself out, end your time there as a standalone company, sort of go under a big pharma company, hide under it, and sort of continue your R&D work, or let that play out, right? So I think, any of those CRISPR companies, 7 CRISPR companies I mentioned, I really think there's something here. There's so much money being thrown on at these in the biotech space, especially since the pandemic, and I don't see that slowing down, especially with cancer looming in, and of course more diseases being exposed on social media and so on. So we'll go from here with that information. I do want to keep this video short, guys. As always, subscribe if you're not, like this video if you found value, and let me know in the comments, guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think these CRISPR company will sell themselves or not? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.